Welcome to Time to Talk. I'm RG Hallman, and today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019, and we are glad that you could join us once again on this fall day. Today, we are taking a look at issues about abuse. Today, specifically, we're going to talk about sexual abuse, but also some healing outlets for women that are available here in Michigan. And our first guest, we're going to have three guests on today. And our first guest is Miss Deborah K. Templeton, a friend of mine. And all the women are from Saginaw, and we are glad that they drove all the way down here through that traffic and detours, I'm sure, to be here. So, Miss Debbie, welcome to Time to Talk.
Yes, glad to be here.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
glad to have you here and glad to have you in Grand Rapids. Miss Debbie is the author of this book, Silent Cries During Hurricane Seasons. Small book, but very, very powerful, where she tells her truth about what has happened to her. I'm going to give you some background about Miss Debbie. Deborah Templeton is a happy single mother of two children, two adult children, DeMarco and Passion Templeton. DeMarco's birthday is today, and he's 22. Happy birthday.
My grandson's birthday today.
Huh?
It's my grandson's birthday today. He's
Grandson's
22.
birthday.
Yes.
Grandson is 22.
Yes.
Okay. And so happy birthday to him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And 6 grandchildren, 4 who live in Texas. She has been a member of Victorious Believers Ministries
Yes.
since 1994.
Yes.
And Deborah puts all her faith and trust in God. She is a prayer intercessor and believes in connecting and taking God's love and words to the street.
Amen.
Word to the street. Deborah was employed with Visiting Angels Corporation and certified nurse as a certified and other certified nursing
Yes.
agencies
Yes.
for 13 years. And she worked for the automotive industries for over 10 years. She's a member of the UAW Chaplaincy Committee and worked with the UAW Standing Committee and Region 1D International Committee. Deborah enjoys working diligently behind the scenes. She has helped sponsor blankets, winter garments, and financial support for Men's Center. She is involved in various organizations. She enjoys backyard barbecues and bringing people together for fellowship. Recently, Deborah experienced another test from God. She had to continue to put her faith and trust in Him. She went through surgery and didn't know if she would make it
That's right.
to see another day. The medical personal report to the family is that they lost her,
Yes.
but was able to bring her back.
Yes.
Praise God.
To God be the glory.
God showed how mighty He is
Yes.
once again.
Yes.
God brought her through.
Yes, He did.
Even though she is not 100% yet, every day God is making her stronger physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yes.
This has truly given her a new reset on life. Most of Deborah's life as a child and young adult, she lived in darkness. She experienced rejection, betrayal, abuse, and loneliness.
Yes.
But God,
But God.
her favorite quote is, "This too shall pass." God made me a whole woman. With God, I can do good by myself. God did not bring me this far to leave me. Amen.
No, He didn't.
Deborah has begun sharing her testimony to individuals and groups. She goes into deeper details in this book, Silent Cries During Hurricane Seasons. Her book is available on Amazon. It's available now.
Yes.
Deborah plans to continue writing books to share testimonies of how she rose from victim to victor in other books. She desires to be a blessing to others, and you can contact Deborah at templetondeborah173@gmail.com. And we're going to put that on the screen for you as well. Deborah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How did you decide to write this book?
Well, I started 10 years ago, started writing the book, and I put it to the side. I got so overwhelmed in work, and God put it in my spirit that this book has to be birthed. People need to hear my story. So I proceeded to start back writing, and different notes God would give me during the late night hours. I would just get up and start writing whenever He put in my spirit. And it opened some doors, you know, because a lot of things that I thought that was laying doormat in me that I didn't even really pay any attention to anymore, because I put that like in the back of my mind. But as God began to show me, and I was writing things down, then I could feel myself being healed. So a friend of mine, Jerry Darby, who's my writing coach, she decided to push me to write this book, to get it out of me so that I can birth it, for it to come forth. So it's here.
Yes.
Praise God.
Now, you live in Saginaw right now, and were you born and raised in Saginaw?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about your life as a child in Saginaw, or your family. Let's start with your family life. How many children were in your family? Tell us about your parents.
Well, it was a total of 7 of us, and when my dad and my mother split up, my mother was pregnant with me when my dad left, and so I never knew my dad to be in a home with us. So I didn't know my older siblings. All of them was older than me. So by the time I started, got like 10 or 11, they was already gone. They was already out the house. I had some more siblings that was coming up that was older than myself, but I ended up having to take care of my younger brother and sister. I had to take care of them because my mother was not raised in a church. My grandfather, Jasper Morgan, when it came to church, that church foundation, we got it from our grandfather, Jasper Morgan, and he would come to the house, excuse me, and take us to church. But that was the only, as a child, that was the only Christian foundation I had. And my mother, she would, she was a good mother, and then like at the end of the week, she would get with her friends. She loved playing cards. She would drink, and they would have a good time, do what they do, you know. And but I was always at home, sheltered. I couldn't go anywhere because I'm taking care of my younger siblings. And so after that, you know, it was just myself and the younger siblings at home when my mother is not there. And she normally be there Monday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday she's there, but she's not there because she be with her friends. And you know, at a young age, we couldn't be in grown people's face. You know, we couldn't be around grown people, so we always was in the basement or in a room somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So you were forced to be in a parent role, taking care of your younger siblings, and you were 6 years old when the abuse started. Do you remember the first time?
I don't remember the first time, no. I just know that it happened often. It seemed like to me it was happening every Saturday, you know, every weekend. I knew it was a weekend, and it happened all the time, you know, every weekend. But the first time, no, I don't remember.
Who was the abuser?
My oldest brother.
How much older was he than you
Um,
when it kind of first started?
well, I know that, like I said, I was 6, and he had to been about 14. Yeah, about 14 years old.
And so, what kind of things would he do? Would he take you to the basement? Is this where he would kind of, or would this happen all over the house or something? Or in other places outside of the home?
I can just only recall the basement, and one time when it was in one bedroom, and then I remember another time when it was in the bedroom with my sister was in the room too. So I do recall those 3 times, but I know it happened more than that. But each time was very painful, very uncomfortable, very scary.
And sometimes he would get in your bed?
Yes. Or either he'll take me downstairs to his bed.
And so this not only included touching, he actually had sex with you?
Well, yes, I mean, it was a lot of things done, you know. It was not just the touching, or it had, you know, oral sex was involved in it. It was all types of sexual activities that I had to go through.
That had to be so frightening for you as a little girl, you know, that feeling like something is wrong, but you don't know what to do about it, you don't know what to say about it.
It was because I didn't know if it was, by me being so young, I didn't know if it was the right thing, or I didn't know if it was a bad thing. You know, I knew it didn't feel right. It felt bad, but I didn't know the difference. You know, I didn't even know what sex was, so I didn't know that was sex. I didn't know he was molesting me because I didn't know what molestation was. So.
And how did that make you feel about yourself? Did you feel dirty and ashamed and alone?
Well, I will feel pain. Being that young, I just felt pain. And
Physical pain?
Yes, physical pain. And I would go to my mom. I never said anything to her, but I was in pain, that I'm hurting. You know, I didn't tell her what was hurting. I just said I'm hurting. Sometimes I'll say my stomach hurt, you know. And so I was thinking that maybe she can go get me checked out or go to the doctor or something, and that's how, you know, she'll know that something is happening to me, because I couldn't just tell her, because I had a sister that would use me for her own little Cinderella, because when she knew about the abuse, she would have me to just do her chores and threaten me that she'll tell our parents my mother what was going on. So I thought that what was happening was my fault.
And it certainly wasn't your fault.
No, it wasn't.
And it's never any victim's fault that goes through something like that, you know, it is not your fault. That is not on you. That's right. On that
That's right.
Abuser. But of course, it's only normal to feel like, well, what did I do?
Right.
What did I say? What am I wearing? You know, you're taking it all on yourself, you know, and it's just so not true that it's your fault. But of course you're gonna think that. Many adults even think that when they're sexually abused or raped or sexual assault happens to them or something like that. Did your brother, who is dead now?
Yeah, he
right?
passed away, yes.
Yes, he passed away. Did he threaten you or try to bribe you or
No.
use anything like that?
No.
Or tell you not to tell?
Well, yes, he would say not to tell, you know, and that's the only thing he would say. But when I feel as though it was wrong, is when my sister told me, when she started blackmailing me. You know, I knew that what was going on, it was wrong, But I feel as though, like I said, I was in the wrong, you know. And so that's when I began to complain to my mom about my stomach, you know. I
But
wanted
she
her,
didn't figure
I
it
wanted
out.
her to find out that way. But no, she didn't. You know, she would do what she could to make me comfortable, but or to have me to take an aspirin or something for my stomach to comfort my stomach, or drink some milk or something. But she didn't have a clue that I was being molested.
And so your sister, in a sense, was complicit because she saw what happened and was using that against you. I'm going to tell on you, so you're going to have to do all my work, all my chores and everything like that. And I'm not going to say anything about it either.
Right.
That had to hurt you a lot.
Yes, it did. You know, it did, and for a very long time, even in my adulthood, you know. But when my sister, but one thing about it, I thank God that I was the one that led my sister to the Lord, and God began to use her. You know, because when I got older, I had to forgive. I had to forgive.
When this abuse was happening, we're talking to Deborah K. Templeton, who is the author of Silent Cries during hurricane seasons, and she's been through so many hurricanes with the sexual abuse, but then things went on where different people mistreated you in different ways, and then it made you feel like it related back to the abuse as well. But when the abuse was actually happening, many times people find themselves dissociating, like during whatever act might be going on, you know, they're looking somewhere, or they're somewhere in a whole nother world, or they're just blanking out. Did any of that happen to you?
Yeah, I would always, when I was going through all this, and it was just so much, I would always try to focus on one thing, you know, in the house, to take my mind off, you know, the abuse, you know. And as I got older, it still hunted me, you know. I got older, but that spirit, that you know, my past was still growing in me, and I needed to seek some help, some professional help.
And you did that?
And I did that, yes.
And that is so important for people to do, is to not just carry that burden alone,
Yes.
but to seek some professional help, and try to look into it before you do that, because some of that didn't quite go well for you as well. How did the abuse stop?
My brother passed away. He passed away, and that abuse did stop. And
So he passed away at 15, or?
no, he was 18 when he
18.
passed away, and the abuse stopped. And you know, I was relieved, you know, because I didn't know I wouldn't be hurting anymore. I didn't know whether to be sad or happy. Sad, you know, I had mixed emotions, you know, but it ended, and I thank God for that.
When did you finally tell anyone?
I was in my mid-20s when I told my mother. Yeah, I finally told her. And
How did she react?
well, she was wondering why I didn't tell her at first. You know, she was upset that I didn't tell her. She said I should have. And but when I told her, I had to make sure my sister was present when I told her, you know, and my sister confirmed that it did happen. But she was upset. My mom was upset, you know, because she didn't know. She didn't know, and she was upset too because I didn't tell her. You know.
Tell us about when, because you're a very spiritual woman and you sought some spiritual counseling, and you know, you were very active in your church.
Yes.
And sought out a pastor, which that makes sense, you know, but things didn't go quite the way that one would expect. What happened?
Well, when you're dealing with sexual abuse, it's like you're a magnet. Different types of things will happen to you in an abusive manner, you know, in an abusive way. And I was going to this church out in Bridgeport, and I worked diligently in the church and with my pastor. And that was, I felt like I had some type of family, you know, I can call
Somewhere where
them
you
there
belong.
where I belong, and this is my family, and I belong, and I felt loved, and I felt safe. And I went to my pastor one time and took a fight in him on some things that happened, and he didn't take it very well, you know. It's such a long story, but I'll just say what I can say. I shared with him about another incident that happened to me in the church with another brother, and I was going to him in confidence and to tell him what happened, and he shunned me.
He shunned
He
you?
shunned me, yes.
Because you were victimized
I was
by somebody else?
victimized, yes.
So he shunned you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And I went to him and I shared everything with him about how I was having people over for, you know, people that was in the choir. They was over to my house for dinner and outdoor barbecue, and everybody was there, and we had a good time fellowship. And then the minister of music, he came by, and I told him, well, he waited, like, he came late, like about an hour late, 45 minutes to an hour late, and I gave him a plate to go. However, he thought I was someone that he was having a conversation with over the phone, and I wasn't that person. I wasn't that woman. He kept calling me her name, and I was abused by him. I was sexually abused by him, and I kept telling him, no, I'm not that woman. I'm not that person. That's not my name. And by him coming to my house, I know he know my name. He knew my name, but he kept calling me her. And this woman is in the choir too. But I didn't know that they was having late night conversations over the phone, and he would start rehearsing the conversation they was having over the phone. And I told him that I'm not that woman. I'm not that sister that's in the church, you know. So he refused to believe what I was saying, and I went to my pastor a couple weeks later, I went to my pastor and confided in him. And I was thrown out of church.
You were thrown out of the church?
I was thrown out
because
of the church.
this man approached
Yes.
you and violated you
Yes.
in your own home.
Yes.
Then you go to the pastor
Yes.
in confidence, which is everything should be confidential.
Yes.
And he should be trying to uplift you and give you some spiritual direction. Instead, he throws you out of the church.
Yes.
And what was that like? I mean, did this happen in front of everybody?
Yes, it happened on a Sunday morning. Actually, one of the head ushers called me at home, and he began to share with me the things that I had discussed with my pastor in confidence. And I was wondering, why are you talking to me about something that I talked to my pastor about confidence?
How do you even know about it?
Right, correct. So I told him, he said, well, are you coming to church? And I did not know that once that phone, I hung up the phone, that my life was going to be changed. I did not know that. And I proceeded to get myself and my children ready for church. We went to church that Sunday morning. It was full of visitors and children, and it was just, we had a full house that Sunday. And my pastor stood up and began to speak. And before I know it, he was calling my name out. And I was just so angry. I was so angry. I was shocked, and and people, the church just blew up. I mean, people was just so upset. Some people began to pray. Some began to speak in tongues. Some just was so angry, but nobody was no angrier than I was, because I was so angry to where people started putting their hands on me, and I was trying to get to the pastor. I just wanted to get to him, and but. It happened, and I had to go through the healing process. It took a long time. It took a long time for the healing, but my pastor and his wife did call me. The wife called first, and then the pastor called me. They both apologized. They said it was held wrong. He did it wrong. He held that wrong, and he shouldn't have never done that on a Sunday morning, and he shouldn't have never took what I shared with him in confidence. He just acted out of himself, you know, but he did apologize and asked me to come back to the church.
But a lot of damage had been done.
Yes.
That not only went throughout the church, it went throughout all of Saginaw.
Yes, it did.
Everybody knew. Everybody was talking about it.
Yes.
Everybody's kind of, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people putting you down.
Yes.
Because you know how when something starts, it just gets bigger and bigger and changes, the story changes,
Yes.
and everything like that.
Yes.
And then how did you, we want our viewers to know we're talking to Deborah K. Templeton about her book, Silent Cries During Hurricane Seasons. She's talking about her experience with sexual abuse, and then later on, even more sexual abuse in different ways. You know,
Yes.
it wasn't your brother, you know, it was other people, and even some people like you just described, say with the other minister, he hurt you, he abused you in another way, you know, by telling all your business, you know, that you shared in confidence, which had to be hard for you. But you openly talk about that. But we're going to also bring our ladies with the who talked about a retreat
Yes.
that you went on. But before we do that, how you're in a different church now?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am. Yes. Ma'am.
And but over time, how were you able to find healing? Well, first let me back up a little bit. The pain, how did it manifest itself in your adulthood? You know, like some people, they start drinking, partying, or being promiscuous, or different things, or isolating themselves from everybody. I don't want anything to do with anybody. How did the pain affect you that you went through?
Well, I had a very dislike when it come to men. You know, I didn't like sex. You know, and when I did get in a relationship, it was mainly for the pleasure for the man, not for myself. You know, and like with my husband, you know, I didn't minister to him in the way that a wife can, because I couldn't give him all of me, because I wasn't a whole woman at the time. You know.
You were feeling broken.
Yes, I was still feeling broken.
And you couldn't give what you didn't have
Right.
at the time.
Right, right. And because really I never experienced true love in my home as a kid coming up. You know, I think the only closest thing I got to a family as coming up was when I would stay at home and watch Brady Bunch all the time. You know, that's the only thing I got as a family. And so when it was time for me to start my own family, I was broken. I was broken. I wasn't whole. And you have to be a whole woman to have a whole relationship.
How did you finally take those steps towards healing? What helped you?
It was much prayer and counseling, a lot of counseling, and then I began to just open up and talk about it and listen to other people, their cries, and we'll cry together. It's like when we went on our retreat. It was so many wonderful, beautiful women that was there that was broken, you know, but we began to sit there and share and talk, and we know we was uplifting one another. You know, iron sharpens iron. So, and that's what happened to me, you know, coming up. I had to, you know, just get with positive people. And just completely make that change. But like I said, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because it was during some times where I did backslide, you know, because it was the pressure of going through a lot of things, you know, a divorce, being molested, being taken advantage of, you know, so I still was struggling with my identity of who I am. I was letting my past determine my future. And I knew that I had to stop doing that. And with counseling, and that helped me.
What were some of the things that different counselors or different pastors would say to you that was helpful? Because it's real important that people who are in the helping professions know, or even just if you're a friend or family member, know what is helpful to say and what is not helpful to say. But what was helpful for you on your healing process? What did they do or say to you?
Just show love. They showed a lot of love. You know, the ones that was there for me. I had a lady come by my house and she gave me a CD that you can make it off broken pieces, you know, so that helped me. My bishop, Bishop Marvin C. Pryor, he would always encourage, you know, me, the whole church, you know, just showing love that we are somebody, that God loves us.
And when I was a counselor at the YWCA working with victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, sexual abuse, and rape, one of the things I always told every person that I came into contact with for counseling was, it's not your fault.
Yes.
If you don't take anything else away from here, it's not your fault.
Right, right.
And you are somebody.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are. We're talking to Deborah K. Templeton about her book. We're going to continue to talk about that. But one of the things you did this year, a part of your journey, is go on a women's retreat.
Yes.
We want to find out more about that women's retreat. It's called The Great Escape. And we're going to find out more about that in just 1 minute, like 2 minutes. You're watching Time to Talk. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. Glad that you could join us once again. Remember that we are on Time to Talk every second and fourth Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. GRTV, Comcast Cable 25, and also on Wednesdays, 2:30 and 8 o'clock on WKTV in Wyoming, Kentwood, and Gaines Township. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Oh, am I ready? Yes, we are ready. Let's do this thing. Welcome back to Time to Talk. I'm R.G. Holman. Glad that you could join us once again. Look for Time to Talk every second and fourth Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on GRTV, if that's what you're watching right now. You also can go to YouTube and search Time to Talk TV and find us there, and the website, and we're going to put the website up and all of that so that you don't miss Time to Talk. And if you ever want to be a guest, then you can go to those areas and let us know. And we'll be probably glad to have you. We're glad to have our guests today. We've been talking to Deborah K. Templeton. All of our ladies here today are from Saginaw, and Deborah wrote a book called Silent Cries during hurricane seasons, talking about her experience with sexual abuse and being taken advantage of, and healing from that as well. Healing is possible. You can heal.
Yes.
You may be hurting right now, even though something happened a long time ago, but you can heal. And a lot of times we need things like this that encourage us. Say somebody else been through it and they are okay, and you're going to be okay too.
Yes.
So we have Deborah K. Templeton, and we want to welcome Latrice Thomas, who is the president of the Great Escape Women's Retreat.
Yes.
Miss Latrice, it's good to have you with
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Okay, and then also we have Shalana Bradley, who is a team member for the Great Escape Women's Retreat. And Miss Deborah went to this retreat earlier this summer, and I believe had a wonderful
Yes,
time,
yes,
and was
wonderful.
quite encouraged.
Yes.
But tell us about the retreat, because there's going to be another one coming up next
Yes,
year,
yes.
and we want you all to know about it in time
Yes.
so you can get ready
Yes.
and prepare yourself and look forward to it. So what is the Great Escape, Miss Latrice?
The Great Escape is a women's retreat that was started back in 2001. It was a women's weekend outreach ministry then. It just kind of turned hands this last year. Diane Holloman, Rosie P. Cole, those were early founders of the women's retreat itself, the outreach ministry. And it all started with just them wanting to pour into each other, just to spend a little time with one another, and they would go off and get a room and just spend the weekends together. And they found themselves pouring into each other and finding out that they needed that from woman to woman, just to pour out whatever was going on with them and things like that. But God gave them a vision and let them know that it needed to go a little bit further than just that hotel room with just those few women. Mm-hmm. So they decided to take it out, and they wanted to help a lot of other women who may be hurting, who may be broken, no matter what's going on, no matter your race, your background. It's a place that you can just go just for the weekend, just to get away from the hustle and bustle of your everyday life, mm-hmm. And to kind of just refocus and recenter on yourself. You have a chance to cry out to God and just, I don't know, just give it all to Him. We go out to a remote location in Higgins Lake, and it's a serene atmosphere. So you can go and you can do just whatever you feel to do. If you want to go out and you want to holler and scream, then you can holler and scream. If you want to go out and just sit on a beach and just drink your coffee and just pray, you can do that. If you want to come in, you fellowshipping with other women of you may not know, other denominations, other races. You come in, you fellowship, and you share, and that's where your healing really comes from, because you're opening up to people who you may not know, but over those course of those couple days, you feel like sisters. You feel like sisters because you've shared and you've opened up and everything, and now you got a sister friend for for a lifetime. So it's a great opportunity for ladies to just come and just be free.
It sounds like it's a real rejuvenating time.
Yes, it is.
How long have you been a part of it?
I've been to the retreat a few times. Like I said, they've been doing it, started in 2001. I just became president this last year. So this past August, we just had our first one under the Great Escape. And we had one of the founders with us, Diane Holloman, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. But she came with us and was very happy about the turning of hands. So we had a chance to honor her there as well, just to kind of give back and thank her for entrusting me with their vision.
That was a major responsibility and honor, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Miss Shalana, how long have you been a part of the Great Escape? Yes.
Well, I've been a couple of times before as well, and just when Latrice took over, I said, whatever you need me to do to help, I'm there with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what did you get out of it these different times that you've gone?
Like Latrice had mentioned, it's really a time of refreshing, just really crying out to God, connecting with other young women, not just even young women, but women of all different ages. And just you find yourself opening up and sharing, and someone may have went through that same thing and can tell you, okay, how you can get through it. This is the steps I took to get there. And just connecting with other people and just really crying out to God, and just that peace. We wear so many hats on a day-to-day basis. We're mother, wife, and entrepreneurs, and sisters or whatnot. And just to go in and actually, you have to invest in yourself as well. And that's a time for us to refresh and invest in ourselves as well.
Yes.
So this is a time for just women. You don't have to worry about the children or
Yes.
spouses or significant others. It's me time.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And Miss Debbie, this was your first year
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like for you and how that tied into your healing process.
It was awesome. I missed so many other opportunities to go, but I am glad to know about it. I've been informed of this. This is something I want to be a part of, from now on. When I went, I didn't know what to expect, because I'd never been before, but it was awesome. I just love going down by the water, the beach, just sitting there, just relaxing, and just the atmosphere was so wonderful. And just to walk the path, they have different walking paths that you can go down, and it was just so quiet. And like she said, Latrice said, you can scream if you want to, and whatever you want to do. It just was awesome. And it's just to sit around a fire outside and bundled up in blankets and talking to one another, sharing, building relationship, building memories, building friendships. It was just wonderful.
And now that you mentioned that reminds me, we have pictures. We have pictures of the retreat. So we're going to start putting them up now. I'm going to keep talking to the ladies, but we're going to start putting up some of those pictures, and then you all can tell me what we're looking at. So it sounds like you get a chance to be around nature
Yes,
quite a bit.
yes.
And we don't always get that in the hustle and bustle of the
That's
city
true, that's true.
and everything like that. Sometimes you need some fresh air.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Some fresh air. So where is this located, Miss Latrice?
This is in Higgins Lake,
Okay.
Roscommon, Michigan.
Can you tell?
That's Oprah Winfrey.
Are these our pictures?
No.
I think that's pictures. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
What's that?
All right, that's actually me and missionary Diane Holloman, who was one of the founders of the Women's Retreat, and that's us outside of one of the buildings there, posing for the camera.
Okay, she's in the. Okay, and there's the fire.
Yes, that's the bonfire we have, and the ladies, we just come out, and that's a time of sharing. That's a time of whatever you're going through, you can throw that in the fire.
Yes.
We're singing, we're telling testimonies.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you want to share out there, you can.
Everything's confidential.
It's confidential. Everything that you want to share. Now, if you want to share it with someone else, then that's up to you. But if whatever you share at the retreat is shared at the retreat, and it's between you and your sisters. So we threw some things. We binded some things and put it in that fire. That's where, we really got breakthrough
Yeah.
out there at that bonfire.
Yes.
It might be chilly out, but we had a good time.
Yes.
That's Minister Whitney Chilton. She was our speaker this year, and she's from Greater Grace in Flint. Wonderful woman of God who just dared us to dream again in our journey.
Dare to dream
Dare to
again.
dream. Dare to dream. Yes.
That sounds so good.
Yes. Yep, and that's just some of us hanging out. That's Miss
That's a
Templeton
beautiful
there.
lake.
Yes, and that's just our view from where we can go, and you can sit out there if you want to. You can go out and just take pictures and just have a good time. Right out at the beach, which is not far from where we stay, and you can walk the path and go down. Really nice. You can see those people who are across the beach. They're out there boating and have their boats out and everything. It's just a beautiful sight, beautiful, serene
And
view.
what city is this?
Roscommon.
I've never heard of that.
Wow, that's up north. Yep, Roscommon,
Up
Michigan.
north, way
Yes.
up north.
Yep, and that's just a picture of the inside of where we stay. The building that we stayed in, they have like a recreation area there where we all can come and sit and share. Each morning we had a meeting with the King is what we called it. So we get up very early and we just come in and pray and cry out to God before breakfast. So this is 6 o'clock in the morning. We're out there and we're crying and on the floor and on the couches everywhere, just giving God our all.
Do you have to have certain issues to come there, or is just
Absolutely
for any
not.
woman?
Yes.
What's the youngest age?
We say 18 and up, but if you have a mature young woman and she wants to come, we wouldn't say no.
Okay. And what's that?
This is just some of the things that we gave away this year for the Great Escape. We gave away pillowcases that said "Dream Again."
Oh,
So when you
right,
lay your
a lot
head,
of goodies.
when you lay your head down, just reminding you to dream again. Tote bags, and then we gave some goodies away as well that people wanted to sponsor and donate things to us, and they wanted to donate to the women. So we had a lot of baskets for each and every woman that came.
Okay.
All right. And that's to save the date. So it's coming up again, August 27th through 29th of 2020. The cost is $200 a person. That pays for your hotel lodging. That pays for all of your food that weekend as well. So if you want to start paying something now, we say you don't have to pay it all at one time. You have months. You can give $20 a month, $25 a month, and you'll be done paying for it before you know it. So save that date, August 27th through 29th.
Yes.
All you have to do is exchange some fast food days.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's it.
For saving the date.
That's right.
For something that's really going to help you.
Yes.
And how do you dress, or what do you need to bring, Miss Shalana?
Sweatpants, sweatpants, hoodie, just comfortable. Just be
Yes.
comfortable.
Yes.
Bring your tennis shoes, your sneakers. Like they said, go out and go for a walk or whatnot. And we're just laying before the King. You don't even have to bring your makeup that weekend. I said no lashes are needed because you're gonna cry. It's one of those type of weekends where we're just giving God our all, just really crying out to Him. And just like she said, the theme this year was Dare to Dream Again. Encouraging our sisters that, hey, there is something inside of you. Like she was saying that it was some stuff in there that was laying dormant. No, we're trying to pull that out, pull it out, and so we can dream again.
Yes.
There's books in us, there's songs in us, and whatnot. So we had a day where we did vision boards, write the vision and make it plain.
You're right.
Yes.
And so we just go back to that as our reminder, our constant reminder that we're dreaming again and we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
And did you hear some feedback from different women that, yes, I did dare to dream again?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what was that like?
Absolutely.
It's awesome. Just to hear Ms. Deborah today talk about her experience and how it changed her and, helped with her healing. That is so humbling to hear. And we give all glory to God for that because that's what it's all about. It's all about coming and getting that breakthrough. And a lot of women, they really enjoy just being able to get away for a couple days, just to kind of even think about what is some things that I need to dream again about. What are some things that maybe I forgot about because I'm caught up now in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So it was nice for them to put it down on paper and say, okay, this is me. This is who I am. Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I'm a wife. But this is who I am and this is what I want to do. So now we just dare them to go and execute those things. Find some time and execute it. Don't just come and write it down. Let's get it executed. Let's make a plan, get it in place, and let's execute it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that it's good to stay in contact with women that you met there? and
Yes.
Develop some real friendships?
Yes.
Yes.
Were you able to do that,
Yes,
Debbie?
yes. Like I said before, it was a lot of memories that was built, during this retreat. And so we all took each other's numbers, email address. We Facebook friends, and we keep in contact. We'll just send me a post saying, "Oh, you look so beautiful today," and just to encourage one another,
Yes.
and just to help. Like I say, iron sharpen iron, and we have to build one another up and keep one another encouraged.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have some special events that are going to happen at the retreat or special speakers this year?
Well, we're in the planning stages of the 2010 retreat, so you have to stay tuned to find out. But we will have speaker announcements coming up. We'll have some fundraisers that will be coming up as well. We want to just make it great. We want to make it great.
And do you have a website or?
The email address is just August Weekend Retreat at yahoo.com, which is also on the flyer. So you can always reach out there if you have any other questions or anything. We always have the flyer floating around on Facebook. We can email you one, whatever it is that you need to get the information to you.
Okay. And what I didn't get a chance to ask you, what do you do in your other life besides the retreat?
Besides
Tell
the
us about
retreat,
yourself.
I'm a wife. My wonderful husband AC and I have been married for 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We have a blended family of 5. I work at Consumers Energy in Saginaw in our revenue assurance department. That's pretty much me. Also, I'm an entrepreneur. I have independent paparazzi consultant as well. So I do that as well. So.
Okay, great. And you, Ms.?
I'm a mother of 3 teenagers that keep me very, very busy.
I'm sure.
Yes. And I act and do stage plays as well. Along with Latrice, I work at Consumers as well. I work within the direct payment offices as well.
Okay. Do you have any plays that are coming
I
up
do,
that you're going to be in?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to be?
November 9th. It's called. I'm getting the movie and I'm getting the movie and the play. Till Death Do Us Part is the play.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting the movie and the play mixed up, but that's at Victorious Believers Ministries, and that's on November the 9th at 7 p.m.
You're in a movie too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, a movie star. Right among us. Wonderful, wonderful. And where is that? Is that in Saginaw?
That still be in Saginaw. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And that's at our church.
It's worth a trip.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
worth a trip, just like you all took a trip
Absolutely.
down here to see us. Is there anything you want to share out of the book or just in general as we...
I just want to share that. I just want, parents to take note of, be more cautious when their kids are around other older guys, family members. Just be alert, be on alert, be watchful, because one of the main reasons why kids feel so comfortable and don't say anything about their abuse, because the predators tickle them, kiss them, massage their faces and necks and their chests while the parents are right there. So the children feel as though it's okay. So when the parent's not around, the predator go a little bit further. And the kids, they think it's okay because they set them up.
Yeah.
They set them up to do it in
They
front of the
groom
parent. They
them.
groom them. Yes, and so they have to be very careful in that area, the parents, I don't care who it is, And then another thing, parents need to stop leaving their kids with different people, with strangers.
That they don't even know.
even know.
And some that you think you know, but you really
Yes,
don't know.
yes.
And also, I'm going to add to that, believe your child.
Believe your child.
Believe your child.
Investigate.
If they tell you something, believe it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Good.
yes. Do some investigation. Yes, believe your child.
And seeking help is very important.
Yes, professional help. And don't be embarrassed. Don't be shamed. Professional help is needed, and we have so many adults now that's struggling. And I have, since I started writing this book, I have talked to numerous of women, and they was telling me that they have not had any counseling because they feel as though because they're my age and older, excuse me, that they don't need the counseling.
It's
But they
never
do.
too late.
It's never too late. You can't put limitations on that when you should seek counseling or stop counseling. You can start anytime.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to put a national hotline up
Yes.
regarding sexual abuse, a national hotline that you can call. You can, and so all over the country,
Yes.
there is
Help. There is help.
And there's free help.
Yes.
It's all confidential,
Yes.
and it will make a world of difference. And I would suggest to people, go at least once. You're going to see
Yes.
the difference because all that weight will come off.
You feel
of you.
free.
And
You
you'll
feel
be
free.
You'll
Yes.
You'll be free.
Yes.
And you're going to have a book signing.
Yes, I'm having a book signing coming up next month, which would be November the 9th. And I'm going to be at SVRC in that building there. And it's going to be from 10 to 3. From 10 to 3. So
And that's in Saginaw.
that's in Saginaw, Michigan.
But we hope you come down to Grand Rapids and give us a book signing.
Yes, I can make that happen.
Yes, yes, we can make that happen for you.
Yes,
We want to
yes.
thank you all for being with us on Time to Talk today. Any 30-second thing you want to say, Ms. Latrice?
Nope, just we hope that you'll save that date, August 27th through 29th, and come on and give us your name, your email, whatever it is. You can start making payments now to attend the retreat for 2020. We would love to have you. Just know that it will bless you real good. It'll bless you
Okay.
real good.
I'm going to do my best to come.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say,
It's
Shalana?
definitely worth the investment. And we do also have scholarships. That's why we do the fundraisers as well to help someone else that don't have the financial means to come. So we also have the scholarships as well.
Thank you. Let me have the book again. And again, thank you all.
Thank you for having us.
On Time to Talk.
Thank you.
And hope you come back again sometime. And get the book, Amazon.com. Silent Cries During Hurricane Seasons.
Yes.
This is important and powerful.